Hola. It is 4:55 p.m. February 16th, 2024, Friday. This is for week 7. So I guess I want to start off by saying last week I was down bad when I did this. And it stemmed directly from not doing enough self-care, not doing Etch-a-Sketch, not doing sessions, not enough relaxation time, and smiling intentionally, being preoccupied, not being in the present, those types of things. I don't know. Obviously, the things that I said were happening. You know, the things that weren't in my control and stuff like that. But I'm going to take responsibility for my potential dramatization of what was occurring, as like I said in that video, letting the spillage talk, basically. I have been craving what I would call a punctuation, which is when you go to basically one of these bad boys. When you go to oh, that smells like shit. When you're writing a sentence, right? Punctuation is mostly what I mean is a period or an exclamation point or a question mark, which is the end of a sentence. So punctuation meaning the end. So an end of an era, an end of a time, a climax moment, similar to a movie, the resolution to the storyline, basically. So I've been craving punctuation, and a cigarette is a form of punctuation. An orgasm is a form of punctuation. We are extrapolating that out to also mean a drink is a form of punctuation. All of that stems back to basically being a release of energy, a leakage of energy that reduces our ability to manifest, reduces our gravity, our magnetization powers, and just overall energy. So, potency, basically. I'm also considering thinking about walks in this way, because I've been going for a lot of walks very frequently, multiple times a day, to kind of think about stuff and have a little chat with myself and whatnot. So I don't know how much of that is a waste and how much of that is a positive, but that is also another example of a potential punctuation. So because of the fact that, and that I kind of spoke about it last time when I was, when I was working on the arbitration, there was this huge kind of moment when I got my everything written up and I got everything organized, and there was leakage, there was, there was the temptation to drink, stuff like that. Even recently there was that. So I just kind of wanted to mention that it is all the same. You know what I mean? It's there is, just because, like, a punctuation meaning the end of an era, the end of a season, marked by a climax kind of feeling. This is not death. You know what I mean? That is basically a miniature death at the end. So that's kind of why I don't, and literally death, choose life, don't end, don't finish, don't this is not the climax, this is just the beginning, to be honest with you. So the reason why I want to mention that is because I want to think about it in those terms. I want to remember that it is all the same. So it's like that what you're feeling is a culmination of energy, is a culmination of potential energy And what happens with potential energy is it's going to want to escape. When you have a container, it's like a balloon. All of the air inside of the balloon is potential energy, and the more air you put in there, the more pressurized it becomes, and the more of a likelihood there is of the balloon to pop. Now, I am not a balloon, I am a human being, and nothing is too great or grand for me, nothing is overwhelming for me. And instead of being, a hot air balloon, for instance, can hold a lot more potential energy than a balloon or a bubble, for instance. So I'm as solid can get, and I can hold this energy. It's just a matter of practicing the being used to having that much energy, being used to having that much pressure, and not hitting the release valve, because you're harming yourself by reducing your potency, and that's kind of what I want to make sure that I put on wax so that I don't forget. All right. So that being said, I took some time. I took some time this week to really kind of relax. I have not missed a day of working out. I have not missed a day of posting. I've had some. How can I get out of this? Once again, it's pretty much rush hour, and this is the major road connecting in this neighborhood, so there's a lot of people. I picked up the cigarette, by the way, just to smell it. I do that. I've been doing that. And to be honest with you, the idea of smoking it makes me nauseous. I basically took some time to recharge. So I was doing a lot of intentional smiling, and in the meantime, I was doing some stuff to get my understanding of the initiation of arbitration correct. But this entire thing, like I said, is because of that entire lull, was because I was not having sessions and not doing intentional smiling and not doing things like that, and focused entirely on Stormgate streaming. So because I was so preoccupied with something else, I was starting to mentally falter. So that's why, I was basically laying in bed, doing intentional smiling, meditating. I had a couple sessions here and there. The toy is starting to it's behaving a lot better, but it's still testy. I don't know how to explain it. It's still acting a little weird, so I have to be careful, because it's not first of all, my tolerance isn't built back up yet, and my understanding of what is going to happen, and the amount of we can call it suction if you want, the amount of pressure there, it could be an unexpected amount. It's not the same. I'm not calibrated to it as I was to the previous iteration of it, so I just have to be careful. But I have done that, and there's been a lot more temptation to do that, and that pretty much right away, basically right away righted my thinking, righted my the way I felt and everything like that. So that's pretty much another confirmation of its efficacy, if you will. Is this the right? Yeah, okay. So I received my Nav Prime card in the mail, the physical one. So I think that was on Monday. And that's when everything started to kind of turn positive, actually. It was pretty much right away. I received the nav card. I took a good long shower. I went to Walmart with my mom to get some groceries, and then also to use the nav card to make sure that it gets reporting as soon as possible. And in that same day, I got a jump in my credit for like 23 points, 20 something points, putting me like one more jump like that away from prime. So I'm like 30 points away from the ideal score for funding, which is like, and I'm pretty sure I could still get some funding where I'm at, but I'm trying to, if you get the prime score, you get the pretty much the max amount with the best terms. So that's obviously where I want to be. So I didn't expect that jump, and I was very turned up by that when I seen that, because it's like, bro, I'm pretty much there already at the score that I need to be at, and we still got a couple more months to go. So that was really nice. When I went to the store, I don't really be out in public too often in the current way things are set up. I go out for walks or whatever, but basically I felt famous. It was, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I felt myself being felt when I walked into the establishment. Not necessarily, even when I got out of the car, I was like partially nervous because of the way that I felt. I was like well groomed, and I felt nice, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't really necessarily matter, but that was part of it. And then also, just like the vibe, I knew when I got out of the car that I was going to be noticed by this group over here, and then I knew that when I walked in, I could just feel it. So I was kind of like almost nauseous from nerves, because I could tell that I was being felt as I walked around the building. And the only other time I felt like that was in San Francisco, when I was like at the airport and stuff like that. Well, it was when I was in Orlando as well, but like during one of my most recent visits in, like, I think it was December of 2020. God, my skin is crazy. Yeah, December of 2020. Another thing that I just thought about in terms of feeling down is I was also doing my light was different. I wasn't doing a red light. I was doing a red to pink, like back and forth light, and there are supposed health benefits to just a red light. I don't know if it's exactly. I don't know for sure that it applies in the situation, but I was changing my light up as well, so just mentioning that. But yeah, the only other time I felt like that was when I was in San Francisco for, after doing my 90-day spree. There was a point in time where in the building I felt famous. When I went to Florida, I felt that way. And then when I came back, I felt that way. And there was people actually acknowledging that. My roommates, people at work, stuff like that. So I don't know, there might be something special about that 90-day mark, and that whole experience, because I was worried about the leakage, the spillage. I didn't know if I wanted to call it an O, or if it was one of those like super close calls. And I'm leaning towards it being like, okay, it doesn't count. It wasn't like a full, O, and it wasn't, like, it's hard to explain, but so that's why I refer to it as spillage that happens. And it actually happens more often with new toys as well. So, yeah, and that kind of feeling or whatever is kind of something that I knew prior, based off of recent occurrences with what is it called, acquaintances in my personal life, where their reaction to me is significantly different to prior, and also in alignment with what I'm speaking about now. That led me to believe, that it's to the point now where people know, you know what I mean? The people around me, they know what's going on. They know that I'm, XYZ. So, they're not necessarily going to say anything about it, And a few of them have said, that I'm glowing, basically, and all this other stuff. But in general, they pretty much continue to treat you how they have treated you. People don't want you to know that they don't want you to know your worth, basically. Because if you don't know your worth, then you can be taken advantage of in any business transaction or relationship. If you don't know that your value, then you could be appraised at a lower value and accept whatever offer that they're giving you. Accept less, basically. So that's just a normal relationship thing, social thing that happens. No negative, no harm, no foul there, but I'm saying that I have peeped and I understand, and I've gotten the feeling that oh no, people for sure know. I don't want to say anything more, but so I'll just say it like that. I followed the program, meaning I did my 5 sets and my 3 posts, up the sets by 1. I've been posting spottily on YouTube, so I have the last time I posted was 3 days ago, and then the day before that there was a couple. It's been every other day, spotty. You know what I mean? I'm not too upset about that because the views just dropped off crazy. So I'm trying to fix my cadence anyway. So I mentioned last week that I wanted to update the YouTube queue, and I'm probably gonna do that today. I'm probably gonna record shorts, I'm probably gonna record shorts or some type of video to post tomorrow, and then I'll probably try to go back to doing it daily, maybe doing a short every other day, and then doing a video every other day, kind of thing. I haven't played any StarCraft 2 or Stormgate this week. I played 1 or 2 games of Stormgate, basically. It was just randomly. It was after I took a toke. I was basically, I didn't see these people, and I really would have avoided them if I could have. I just kind of got in the mood to play for a little bit of boredom. So I ended up doing 1 or 2. This thing cut me off for some reason, I don't know why. But anyway, it was basically 1 to 2 games that I played, and I was going CC first, and but so was my opponent. So I ended up playing a super long macro game, and there was he went mech and I went bio, and he was able to transition and won the game. And it was one of those situations where my micro seemed to hurt, and I'm not entirely understanding how the micro works yet. So, it's a little bit confusing. But yeah, I played a couple games like that where I was I macroed a lot, and then it's there's these confusing micro situations where I don't understand why, but it feels like I'm hurting myself a lot. But I also have been craving playing StarCraft 2 lately, randomly, which I wasn't expecting to happen, just because I missed the game. But I don't know if because it cut me off while I was doing this, I wanted to mention that they extended the beta that they were having. So they had an open beta for a week from the 5th to the 12th of February, and the NDA was waived for the people that were in the closed beta for that period of time, for obvious reasons. And they decided to extend it during the open beta. They decided to extend that waiving of the NDA for a month, basically. So I'm gonna get back to that and play it more. get more content on it during that period of time. But I also have been craving playing StarCraft, which is something I just didn't expect. Like, playing Protoss, there's the whole vibe of it, I guess. It being like super smooth and it being cutthroat and all that good stuff. Which hopefully it's never going anywhere anyway. So it's not like I can't play both. And eventually they'll have the hotkeys situated to where you're basically doing the same thing in both games anyway. So it'll be a very small adjustment, and it kind of already is for me because the way that they have the hotkeys in Stormgate, which is part of the reason why I really enjoy it. So I gotta kind of hurry up because I think I'm taking a little bit too long. So we're actually pretty much close to the end here anyway of what I need to talk about. I have filed for arbitration. The mail was sent today. I haven't actually done the online portion, but we're gonna say that I filed it. We're not gonna talk about the fact that I did the online portion next week. It's gonna get done today. I just have to file it. I paid my Spark card down, the balance from last month before I did this, so that there's no confusion about what is due and when. So this is gonna be due after I get my taxes, and I can use my taxes to pay the arbitration fees, which is $225 for what I'm going to initiate with Chase. And by the way, the paperwork that I created, I took my time to try to think about and also try to get clarification with the arbitration organization about what is needed to be included in the initial in the initiation filing but I never really got a response. So yeah, I think it was yesterday or something like. Okay, so I guess we'll just finish this way. I got cut off again. So I never got clarification with the arbitration place, but it came down to yesterday or a couple days ago. I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do it anyway. I took a real good toke after finding some I had some carts that I had found with a lot of juice in them, and I basically went ahead and found a way to use the cart because I wasn't able to actually access them, actually use them yet, and I was running low on my other one, so I wasn't really getting a good pull when I was doing it. So I took a good toke and was like, all right, time for action. I sat there for a bit, collected myself, and then I went back to my document, which was perfectly written. Once I looked at it, I'm like, okay, this doesn't need to be edited. I'm gonna put these annotations as superscripts, make it look really official, like you would on a contract. If you look at it like a business contract or an agreement online, they'll have a statement, and then they'll have I think it's an annotation is the word, where they'll have a number in a superscript, which is when you put something to the power of, there's 2 to the power of 5. It's a small number in the upper right of the statement. Then that's an annotation. So when you go down to the bottom, there's a number that's associated with that annotation to give you context on what's being said. There's some clarification on what's being said in that sentence. So I was saying things like, it's inaccurate, and I would put an annotation. It's whatever, put an annotation, and then basically I have 8 annotations in there throughout the statement. So it's the statement is beautifully written. It's exactly what I want to say. And then I just, instead of, the most graceful way of doing it is putting the annotations in the statements to be okay, now reference the annotation. If you look at the annotation, you'll see the evidence of what I'm saying. So that's how I formatted the document that I wrote. And man, it turned out beautifully. I have all the evidence. There's laws, and there's the evidence of their inaccuracies and my hardship, and our communication back and forth, and how that's in violation, how that's inaccurate information in violation of the law, and all that good stuff. So it's a 5-page document with a bunch of pictures, basically screenshots that I took of all this information, which I also have backed up on a drive. So I basically was like, if this prints out and it's not that legible, because you know there's like a whole page kind of like miniaturized down to kind of fit in a thing. It's like a book or something. It's like a textbook. They you know, if they said, oh, it's not, it was real, it's like, I'm trying to make this look as good as possible for me, because this is what is necessary. It's like, and if they said that it wasn't legible enough, it's like, cool, I have copies of it. So it's literally perfect, and I'm super proud of it. I did the paperwork that they required as basically like a cover sheet. I decided I'm suing for $74,000 out of my ass. I just made that up. And then I have the card member agreement in there, which is required. And then I have, for Discover, I have a little piece of, a little thing where it says, it's something about their agreement so that they'll pay the fees. I have to send them a letter, so I have proof that I sent them the letter. And they're like these fat ass packets. Like one of them is like probably like 30 something pages. The other one's like 15 pages or something like that. And it's super official, super professional. I'm very proud of it. And I'm convinced that I will win. It's gonna be a good thing for me regardless. Whether, like, worst case scenario, they do what I want them to do and they give me a little bit of money. It's not like they're gonna do what I want them to do. It's just a matter of how long. And I also think that doesn't matter anymore, because I've kind of gotten to the point of thinking that it's probably not even, I don't know if it's not worth rushing, because realistically I caught them red-handed, and I need to keep all the leverage on my side. So I'm not in a rush, because you know, I'll probably be able to get my funding without it anyway. Like, the bump that I'm gonna get from them removing the thing from my credit score isn't gonna be enough. And if I get denied, it's more damages. So, so it's like, I'm just gonna take my time with them. I'm trying to milk that for as much as possible. I really probably could basically hold them for ransom for a good, like, you know, 5 figures at least. Because if I was to report them to the regulatory agencies over them, they would they would get fined much more. So I could basically say, like, okay, I will agree not to report you to these whatchamacallits. And also, once they, which they will do, once they decide to try to settle, they're admitting guilt, because them offering to settle, they're going to contradict what they initially said to me, which is part of the whole problem, is that they lied. So they're going to confirm that they lied, which is going to further provide evidence. So it's like, you can get fined $5,000 from the CFPB, and we don't, like, a ridiculous amount of money from the OCC, or you can give me and pay me, or you could pay me. So, you know, I'm shooting for like $7,500 and a deletion and an apology. That's going to be my initial offer to them. And you know, I'd probably, if it happened quick, I'd probably take like as low as $1,500 or $2,500 happily. If it happened quick and if they had the right attitude about it. If they didn't, then I would just like, all right, so I'm just gonna go fully, because the damages, because the whole $5,000 fine and you know, whatever the OCC would do is on top of the damages that I would get from the damage that they did to me. So I don't want to argue all that, because I know that they'll you know, go tooth and nail. But it really, if they don't do it quick enough, if they don't, like, in the very near future offer me something, if they don't have the right attitude about it and do it quick enough, then it's just like, fuck it, we'll just go to fucking court then. We'll have the whole hearing and we'll resolve it that way, and then I'll really stick it to you as much as possible. So but I don't really necessarily want to do that. But what's it called? So yeah, and I'm starting to think I might want to move into the next phase of, like, I'm considering moving into the next phase of trying to get business funding quicker, buying a trade line quicker. because of, like the deadline for me to purchase it approaching, and there just not being much reason to wait. Like if I wait for, like, basically I'm not trying to finish arbitration before I do that now. So I'm only waiting for my business credit to kind of establish itself, and then I'm gonna make the move regardless. I don't really expect the arbitration to finish before then, and I don't want to rush it anyway. So I canceled Extra because they, like, we were in limbo with them because they wouldn't waive my fee, and the whole setup was just fucking retarded. So I haven't wanted to stop my membership with them, so I just stopped paying. And they told me that stopping paying wouldn't affect my credit and whatever. So I just was like, all right, I'm not going to close the account. I'm not going to pay. So they recently they sent me a notice, like yesterday. They sent me a notice that, oh, it's over. You have an overdue unpaid balance, and that they basically put me on notice that they would, like, threatening to report or whatever, and that was against information they had already given me, so I needed to resolve that today. I mentioned that I canceled Bully Avengers, but it hadn't actually, like, gone into effect that I canceled it, so I canceled it. It did actually get canceled. I don't know if I've been removed from the school yet. It might be worth checking, like looking through to see if there's any new information real quick. I made a song. I made a song that I'm very proud of. It's not really a full song. It's only like a minute. And the thing is that after I had sent I sent Madre the arbitration paperwork to print out, and in mail and whatever, they I was laying in bed and my headphones weren't working. So I put on my other headphones, which is the headphones I usually use to record, and for some reason I was like a little bit hype. I was wanting to drink, I was wanting to smoke, I was wanting to do something, and I ended up staying up late. So but then I was like, I had an idea of a kind of beat that I would want in my head, a very specific idea of what I wanted, and then, like, one of the first couple beats that I selected, it was like exactly what I wanted. So I recorded it. It turned out amazing. And then on top of that, I was able to incorporate like 4 bars of full Spanish into the beat. So I called it like Wepa or El Capitan. I'm probably gonna call it El Capitan. And now I have like a handful of good songs that I recently recorded that I could probably use as a like sequel to the one. Which is pretty cool. So I still need to like upload all the shit to Bandcamp. I still need to upload all the shit to to YouTube, Bandcamp, YouTube, and I need to claim my YouTube username. That's another thing that I need to do. But it's all about just getting this arbitration done this week anyway. So now we're getting into what's happening next week. Oh, I wanted to mention, by the way, that I've been kind of I really have been liking the placing of Saturday. Like, after I did the arbitration paperwork on Thursday, I slept all day. And it's like, that's my day off. That was Saturday. So I like being able to like kind of maneuver that however I see fit, using it on days where I actually feel tired. And it seems to kind of time out to be like Thursday or Friday, as opposed to making it all the way through the week on Saturday. And then, you know what I'm saying? So, the 2 rest days don't have to be back to back. They could be kind of spaced out. So I like that I've been doing that, and I think it's a good idea to kind of like just wait until you feel a little bit exhausted, or that it's convenient to use. If not, then just do it on Saturday. Just wait all the way to Saturday. But if you actually get a little bit overwhelmed or tired, you can just be like, okay, here's a day, just sleep, relax, and come back fresh. And it really works. You get a little bit of, you're supposed to recover during the week anyway. So I just didn't know that would be, it's a good option is what I'm trying to say. All right, and that takes us to plans for next week. So this week, I got accepted into FIT. I don't know if I mentioned that on here, but I got accepted by Florida Tech, and I received an email about it. But I haven't received any other correspondence. I thought that I would receive information about what I need to do next, and I just haven't seen anything. So I probably should contact them and just kind of see where we're at and have a conversation about what the situation would be like if I do re-enroll. I'm liking that more and more all the time because of the flexibility of my location. I like just the whole online thing. Now, being at USF is nice because you're around other people and blah blah blah. So I still haven't made a decision about it yet, but I also haven't received a decision from USF. Now, if I would have got accepted into UT, I don't know. I might have already made a decision, but it might be better that I'm not downtown anyway. I don't know. So I want to get clarification on the school situation and some ideas about what I may want to work on. Is I've been wanting to read and I've been wanting to read a book, right? Or something like that. Now, things that I could do with ChatGPT, I could write a book, create an app, create a business plan, right? These are things that I've been thinking about doing with ChatGPT. Haven't even been using DALL-E lately. I haven't been messing with AI at all. So that's kind of some things I could do. Figure out where AI is at and try to play with it a little bit and see what I can create. Then, there's Stormgate until March 11th. I can play plenty of Stormgate and do some streaming and get my YouTube queue, fully flooded out. So I got, I'm posting every day or every other day or so. There's this wholesaling, it's called Hold My Hand Wholesaling, by this guy who was a pupil of a guy that I also was a pupil of, who is younger and a little bit less mainstream and has a method of doing it that I am very intrigued by. That's wholesaling. And his membership is cheap. So I think that if I was going to start, I'd start at the beginning of March. I'm not in a super quick rush to do it. That's another thing that I could look into, is studying wholesaling through him. Also, self-care stuff, smiling intentionally, sessions, meditation, sleep, laying down. These things are anytime, any place, as needed priorities. We've established that is the priority. We learned this during our week of playing Stormgate, that it is necessary to upkeep our mental health. We're doing our physical health, but our mental health, attitude, and spiritual health via what we're going to call self-care, which is literally giving ourselves fuel to push past whatever obstacles we need to do in terms of chores, thinking, planning, these types of things. We have to come at these things with the right energy and the right mind frame, so that whatever we create, whatever plan we create, or whatever idea we brainstorm up is of the utmost quality. All right. So that's another thing that we can do, and that it's like, if I could write a constitution, that would be like the first line. So I did some reading recently where there's something really fucked up going on with Chase. I did an application last year. It's documented on here. I was talking about it, where they denied me, and then they did some weird shit. I called them and spooked them, and they deleted the inquiry. They acted like the application never happened, and I guess because they were afraid of me enforcing rights, and they don't want me to know that I can do that. One, I think that there was probably a lot of people calling them about that at that time, and I think that they didn't want me to successfully do it. Didn't know I could do it or successfully do it. So they did something wild by deleting the inquiry and never sending me an adverse action letter when I was getting receipts at the time. I took a picture of me getting denied, so I have proof of that, and I never received any adverse action letter, and I never received and they deleted the inquiry, which is illegal. So it's like they did some illegal shit. Now I'm in the process of initiating arbitration with them on something else, but that's something that I need to probably look into and figure out what needs to be done, because it's possible. In theory, I could already apply what I know and get a car and get a house and get whatchamacallit. So all that right enforcement, truth in lending stuff is also something that I can look into. And there's also trade line calculation that needs to be done. I need to get clarification on the timing of when a trade line is going to report, when I need to purchase it by, and how much to expect it to increase my score, basically. Which they have a calculator that you can use to kind of add that in, to figure out, potentially how much you could expect your score to improve. So, like I said, this week has been fire. We are much closer to our goals of being able to move right in the world of credit, which is basically the world of business. And although, we were craving what we're calling punctuations of all types, we understand that is a normal part of the buildup of energy, and it would be to our detriment to allow the energy to dissipate out of us, because that's the same energy that gives us potency, which is making us magnetic, making us making our energy palpable, and is what everybody can kind of sense. We continue to follow the program. We're going to be being contacted about arbitration to get our settlements, which we're going to get. We're probably going to get a cool couple $1,000s, which is going to be operational funds. The only thing other than that really to be concerned about is whether or not I'm going to continue to receive help from my EBT money. Still haven't received anything from that, but if I do, it's going to be even additional help, because that could help pay for the trade line if things weren't to work out how I want them to, and it could help pay for the filing of the BOI, which is going to be like phase 2 of this whole plan. Quarter 2, we have to file a BOI, we have to refile the LLC, we have to re-up on the phone bill, we have to re-up on the website, we have to re-up on EBT and all that good stuff. So very, very excited. Today I just have to file the arbitration paperwork online, pay the fee, and then probably try to get a YouTube clip up or two, and then I'm probably gonna settle down, take a toke, or not. I might not do that too. I want to kind of throw in skip the days here and there, just to kind of help my tolerance. Because it's I have a skip day here and there, but it's been pretty much every day. And I think this weekend is going to be mostly just taking it easy, and then back on Monday we attack adverse action stuff, wholesaling, AI, school, and the trade line. So I apologize for the clips, me being cut off here and there. And I know this is probably going to be extra long, but I'm just glad that I'm in a much more positive energy and that I understand why that is. And I'll probably just go, like when I get back, I'll piece it together on my computer to make my life a little bit easier and make it a little bit smoother to watch. So I love you, I appreciate you, and I will talk to you next week. Oh, did I say it was week 7 yet? Yeah, week 7. I'll see you for week 8.